Don't panic. Colin Spaull has not done a Katie Manning. Don't panic. Don't panic. And also kudos for the first live stream that started on time today. So yeah, well done us. Well done us.
I was just sitting there thinking when the countdown was going through. I know it's the wrong.
I'm just going to have to look at yours because I can't hear it at the moment. It will sort itself out.
Thinking, going live and then expecting Philip Schofield and Sarah Green to show up. Going live.
Just think. This time last year, it looked like Philip Schofield was going to be the biggest story of 2020.
Are you trying to say that he caused coronavirus, Alex?
No, I'm just saying that looked like the thing that everyone was talking about, and it would be for the rest of 2020. But no, coronavirus.
It was an extremely unusual event. A children's television presenter coming out as being attracted to grown adults. It was.
Well, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the watershed for us. So it's from here on in is where it gets interesting. Colin Spaull is coming up pretty soon, but we're hijacking first off for a couple of reasons. So, Bosswoman Erica Weaver, if you can hear us, tell us more.
He has the authority.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have the authority. So, Big Finish very kindly donated us some a goodie bag full of CDs for us to give away as prizes. So what we've done, if you've donated, no matter how much you've donated up to now, you're going to go in the prize draw. You can still donate later because I have more prizes.
There's a second draw coming.
There's a second draw coming, and I'm not going to tell you when. Because I haven't told Alex yet.
And we are all live from now on.
Yeah.
We've had the last of the pre-recorded sessions. Everything is live.
We're live. Alex is live.
I can't. Yeah, pretty much. I can't. Apart from we can't fib and say that you can't polish the Time Lord isn't live, because when that happens, it's daylight behind me. So we can't. Yeah, that one is a pre-record because that one's on late on because that does have a high rate of C-bombs.
Twittery bombs.
A certain amount of language takes place.
There's some in Doctor Who. So we're gonna do the draw.
Okay. First, shall I do a totalizer?
Yes, let's do the totalizer.
Running total is currently standing at bingly beep. £340.12. So thank you very much to everybody who's donated.
Who donated 12p?
Good question.
It's an artifact of the Facebook fees. I don't think somebody has actually come on and gone, now 12p, give me my CD.
Yeah. So just to read off, so thank you, Jennifer Shirt, Lee Neville, Tim Jory, Dave Adams. Just those are the last few people to donate.
George Cotler, Adams, Jenny Karen, Mott Prescott, Amy Evans, Tony Good. Lots and lots of lovely people donated. Thank you.
So they're all in the number randomizer.
Yes.
Okay. So generate the number randomizer then. Alex, pick a number between 1 and 24.
16.
16. That's number Wang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Right, that's Tony Jordan. Jordan was earlier today to talk about the history of Doctor Who conventions.
I'm going to say...
he's a very
redraw.
Guy. I'm sure he'd be happy for us to draw.
That's going back in.
Yeah.
Redraw. Paul, you choose.
Paul,
okay, I'm going to go with number 4.
4, that's number Wang. 2, 3, 4. Your friend and mine, Roger Poulter.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Roger, very generous. You have won this lovely multiple CD box set of the Third Doctor Adventures, starring not only our own Katie Manning, who was here earlier, but also Richard Franklin. They're both reprising their roles from Unit. We've got Tim Prelor as the Third Doctor. Carolyn Seymour and George Layton also appear. So that's fantastic. That'll wing its way to you, Roger. You can let us know your address and we'll pop it in the post.
Excellent. If I could have a lend of that when you're done, Roger, because I thought Lisa Bowman was going to have a coronary earlier when I said I'm a complete Big Finish virgin.
Yes.
We will be having conversations about this later.
Excellent.
I'm on Spotify. I'm going to
Can
rectify
I
this as soon as.
I know I'm the only female in this. Can I just say this is my third top change, and no one's noticed.
None of us have noticed.
I could live with one. I'm starting to smell.
We failed to read and understand the standing orders, which say notice the tops. And the
Yeah,
hair.
so I have the authority to remove any of you except Alex because he's doing all the work.
He's got the actual buttons, so
He's
the one with the real authority.
he is the weaver of this group.
Yeah.
Our guest Colin Spaull has arrived. He is in the waiting room. Are we?
Let him in while we do this.
Do we let him? Colin, we're going to let you in. We're just doing a quick prize giving before the interview. Hello, Mr. Spaull. Hello. So we sent you a private message saying we're just doing a quick prize giving before the interview started. So don't worry, This isn't the start of the interview. Don't panic.
Okay.
We're not
I'm just going to try and manoeuvre myself into a bit of light. I can see I'm quite dark.
Fair enough.
Well, shall we get since Mr. How's he going?
He's gonna
Get some light.
Oh,
Get some light.
Yeah, no worries.
Do the opposite of throw some shade.
So the next prize to give away is actually a Big Finish Mr. Spaull's been in.
Grand Theft Cosmos, starring Paul McGann and Sheridan Smith,
The
but
Doctor
featuring Michael
and,
Maloney, Colin Spaull, and Christopher Benjamin. So that is a heck of a supporting cast as well.
That's a very funny one because it's
Brilliant.
a spoof of Top Gear.
Yes, yeah, and so that seems like a good way to move into the Colin Spaull interview. We'll give one of his stories away, and I think Mr. Carmichael, it's your turn to be the random number between 1 and 24.
Number 22, please, Alan.
22.
Yes, please.
That's not number Wang. That is a Mr. Dave Adams.
Mr. Dave Adams.
David Adams, who donated not so long ago.
Dave.
So,
We've got your email there, so
yeah, we'll. If you're not watching right at the moment, Mr. Adams, we'll drop you an email to let you know that you've won and get an address where we can pop your prize. And now there we go. That's much better. Much
Yes.
see him.
Excellent. Lovely.
I have a pint in his hand. That's what I like to see.
It's time for us to go and leave Mr. Griggs and Mr. Spaull to it.
So they're brilliant interview.
Yeah.
Break a leg, chaps.
Have
See you
fun.
later. See you later.
See you later,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Spaulie,
Ah.
how the devil are you?
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm good as well, ladies and gentlemen. It is Mr. Colin.
I'm going to try and get some. I'm going to try and get some volume, mate. I can hardly hear you.
Okay.
No, I'm up maximum volume, but there we go.
Okie dokie. You need me to repeat anything you just ask. Colin Spaull, one of the rare breed who have done classic Who and new Who. Always a pleasure to see you, mate. Keeping well?
I am indeed. Thank you very much. Yes, absolutely fine. Thank you.
And,
So,
as I was saying before, as is customary, a pint in your hand, so that's always a good sign.
absolutely. No, it's nice to see you again, mate. It's been a long time since we've had a chat.
It has been. I mean, so how quite seriously though, how have you kept over the last 12 months or so?
I'm absolutely, health-wise, absolutely fantastic. I mean, I've actually decided to grow this thing.
Decided to join the club.
But you see, what I decided to do with the last lockdown, I thought that I'm going to do a one-man protest against the pubs being shut, and I'm not going to shave until they open. So Sally, my wife Sally's hoping that it's not going to be too long.
Oh, bless her.
Otherwise, Father Christmas beckons in the local store if it ever opens.
Did occur to me. Have you had your vaccination letter yet?
Yes,
or
I've had the first one.
You've actually had your first one.
I've had the first one because I'm so old.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to say that. Classic, maybe, but not old.
Yeah, no, I'm 77 this year. So,
crikey, is it that much?
Is that bad? Yes.
But
as I like to say, I'm nearer the departure gate than I am the arrival. shall we
you're
put
going
it
to
that way.
outlive the lot of us, I'm sure. I suspect people are going to be curious then. So, what was your experience with the jab?
Oh, absolutely fine. My wife took me, and it was local. It was about 3 minutes up the road, and bit of a queue outside. And but then once you were in, you just signed the bit of paper or whatever, you tick off things that have you done this, have you done that, and then about 5 minutes later they send you a little cubicle, and a couple of minutes later along came a doctor or whoever with the syringe, and then you sit there for 15 minutes afterwards, and are you feeling all right? I said, I'm perfect. They said, well, you can go. Probably in all, I wouldn't much more than about sort of 20 minutes.
And felt fine afterwards?
Absolutely nothing at all. No after effects or anything, mate. So, and yeah, that's it.
So pleased to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
As is customary, we're here to talk about your many and varied things you've done in your career. Not to mention your time on Doctor Who. Remind me, because I'm sure we've had this conversation before, but there may be people watching who haven't previously. What was the what was your background originally? Where because you started quite young, didn't you?
Oh, as an actor. Yeah. You can actually find all this out in my book. I mean, you probably heard I've got a book out. My autobiography is out and available.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, have you not heard?
I suspect that I have, and then
but never mind. No, yeah, it did. I did start a long time ago. I think about the age of 11, and I went to a drama school called the Italia Conti Stage School, which was one of the most famous, and probably is still the original drama school in England. And I went there, and I started doing bits and pieces, and then I got my first break when I was cast as Pip in the serialization of Great Expectations for the BBC.
That's the one where you ended up on the Radio Times cover, isn't it?
That's the one. I made the cover of the Radio Times.
You were a Radio Times cover star.
In fact, when the Radio Times came out, my mum was on the way to work and walked past the newsstand, which was an open air newsstand, and there was her son, her pride and joy, on the cover of the Radio Times. I think she probably bought every copy in the area. And I have a framed copy on my wall. I'm indicating, but you can't see it. It's on the wall in my lounge. And I went on then to start doing a lot of the BBC then did lots of classics on Sunday afternoons. I went on then to do a thing called Heidi, where I played one of the main characters called Peter the Goatherd, and then I went in to do a thing called The Secret Garden, and I played Dickon, a northern lad, curly hair and loads of animals. Then on, I just went on, and then you go back to things years ago. Dixon and Doc Green, which probably nobody's ever heard of that's going to listen to this. Dixon and Doc Green, and then from then with Z-Cars, and from Z-Cars to later on Inspector Morse, and then Wycliffe, lots of police things. And then movies and television theatre. Yeah, I've been around, mate. I've been around, I'm telling you.
You have indeed. You were saying TV, movies, theatre. Do you like to mix it up, or do you have a preference for which medium you work in?
Do I like to mix it up? It mixes me up, in as much as you can't say. I'm not in the position to be able to say, oh well, I'm not going to do anything unless I do theatre. No telly, no films, no voiceovers, no commercial, no. So you can't. As an actor, you do everything. As I've said many times on various interviews that I've had, I always think that the actor's craft comes into play in theatre, there is no margin of error in the theatre.
Mm.
You learn your lines, you get on that stage and you do it. If you bugger it up, then tough titty, you can't just say, oh, sorry, love, can we go again? No, you bloody can't go again. It's live on stage. So that is where from my personal point of view, I'm sure there are a lot of actors who will probably agree with me. That is where the art of the actor comes on. You're in charge of your own destiny on that stage. You cock it up, mate, and it could have consequences. But yeah, I love telly, and I've done so much. I've done countless. I can't remember the amount of television appearances I've made, and I'm always on somewhere, sometime, somewhere, someday, one day. It's all you get little things like. I don't know, Zenka, not a repeat of something or other comes on in the Outer Hebrides or the lower regions of the lower regions of the Amazon, and you get 4p in royalties. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's about it, really. That's my career in a nutshell.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting you're saying about theatre being sort of where the art is, because going back to like Great Expectations and things like that, that was basically theatre with a camera pointed at it. You were doing it live or as live back in those days.
Yeah, there is that to it, absolutely. It seemed to be in those days of the BBC. It seemed to be more that there wasn't a lot of chance of stopping and starting again. Quite a lot of stuff went out live. All my Dixons of Doc Green and things that I did. People may want to look this up in the Old English Dictionary. What the hell is he talking about? Dixon of what? Yeah, but nowadays it all is all shot before it's shown, and it's all pre-done, and so therefore there are chances if you say, "Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I picked the teacup up at the wrong time, and then I should have got out the door on that last line, but I didn't. Can we do it again?" And it's getting. It's more like working in film. Television is now.
Yeah, these days I imagine it is. Yeah.
Because a lot of people say to me, "Oh, what was it like when you did the first Doctor Who?" And I did it with Colin Baker, and then when you went into again to do it with David Tennant as the Doctor. And the thing that I've always said is rehearsals. You don't get rehearsals anymore.
Mm.
You do not get them. When I did one with Colin, we all met on the Monday. We did a read through in the rehearsal rooms at the BBC rehearsal rooms, which was sort of lovingly known as the Acton Hilton, and it was amazing. It was a lovely building, and it was about sort of 6 floors with 2 very large studios on each floor, and at the very top was the canteen. So the cream of television actors and theatre would always be up there at lunchtime because they were rehearsing something somewhere on one of the floors. So, but yeah, we arrived there. We read the thing through, and during that read through. The floor manager took a rough timing of the length of the episode, and then after that you start blocking. You're blocking all the moves, and then probably by about Wednesday you've got to be off the book. You've got to know it's got to be in there, and then by Friday, if we're due in the studio on a Saturday, by the Friday we'd have the technical run. Which would be the electrics, the lighting people, camera, sound, makeup, wardrobe, any other technical issues were ironed out then. And then Saturday morning, you turn up 8 o'clock, whatever time your call was, and then you record it. But when I did the one with David, learn your lines, and when you're ready, can you just pop up to Cardiff for a short while? And which I did. And so you have something in your mind. You've got an idea of the way you're going to play it, and you just hope that the director, i.e. Graham Harper, liked it. It's with theatre and rehearsals. You start with the bones, and then by the time you finish, you put a bit of flesh on the bones. And the character becomes bigger, better, sharper, more likable or not likable, depending on the character. And that's it. Well, I'm going to stop ranting on, rabbiting on now.
Just picking up what you're saying about theatre, though. What I've always felt is that with theatre, something can evolve because you're not only during the rehearsal process, but also then because you're basically doing it for X number of nights and X number of performances, what you're doing on day one is not necessarily going to be exactly the same as you're doing on your very final performance. So there's definitely something interesting there. The other thing I was going to say though, the main difference that occurs to me about between doing Doctor Who in the early 80s and doing it in the noughties is the technology, because you were in the 80s, you were at Television Centre in a multi-camera studio, and it all the different angles are being shot at once. Whereas it's what you were saying before. It's shot more like a film now, so it's basically one camera, take, multiple times to get the different angles and what have you.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But now it's more or less, it's very rare. The last thing I did was the Catherine Tate show about a year or so ago, or maybe longer than that. I did, and that was a multi-camera. When we went into the studio, and that's quite rare actually. But normally it's a single camera now. You do a master, and then you do the MCUs, the CUs, the point of views, and that's the way it goes now. It's literally like a film, So yeah.
Yeah, you've done a lot of shows like this, more in real life than via the virtue of the internet, of course, because of Doctor Who. You've got to go to a lot of different places just on the back of a couple of roles you've had in that particular show. I mean, where have you got to go around the world?
Where have I got to go? Well, most places, certainly America.
Yeah.
America's been a good one, and I always tend to end up with an old friend of mine. Some people might have heard him watching this, called Fraser Hines, and
name rings a bell.
Yeah, some bloke. He's all right. He's not a bad bloke, and I'm just talking to him actually. It's a few seconds before I came on air. You were saying to me, "Are you watching the rugby?" Anyway, yeah, it's I've been. Amazing. Especially the one that's really lovely, which of course I was going to do, excuse me, the beginning of just before Christmas, was the Doctor Who Caribbean cruise out of Miami. So, and I've done it now for about 5 or 6 years. It's me and Fraser, and well, we don't really want to do it. No, we do. So that's been cancelled, but it's on for next year. I'm doing one next year. I'm doing one earlier next year. April is the one we go to the Caribbean. We're going through the Panama Canal, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, someone's got to go. And we're going through the Panama Canal. But then there's one after that later on the year, which is sort of not so much of a Doctor Who cruise, but it's organised by a Doctor Who fan. And he takes a couple of us. He takes his family every year on a cruise, and he very kindly invites me. Last year I was in Alaska with him, so I've done Alaska, and we saw whales and icebergs. Just brilliant. But I mean New York and Long Island. We were in Fraser, and I had a wonderful time in Nashville, Tennessee. We went to the Grand Ole Opry, and then we were in Colorado Springs. We were in Utah. I've been in Ottawa. I've just been everywhere. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I love going. I mean, I love the fans, and if it wasn't for those, I always say whenever I do a convention, I always, people say, "Oh, Mr. Spaull, it's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming." And I said, well, I should be thanking you. If it weren't for you, I would not be here. But so thank you, and I will give you a clap. But that's the way I feel about it. And I've got all the time in the world for the fans. And any of the fans, American, I'll talk to them. Great, I love them. It's been magic.
It's definitely the job that keeps on giving. Because as we were just doing before you came on, we were doing a giveaway of some stuff that Big Finish had given us to as a draw prize for people who have been donating to Mind. So just as a reminder, people, link details and what have you around the internet. You did a spot with Big Finish with Paul McGann in a Grand Theft Cosmos, which I recall being quite a funny one. It was a spoof of a certain well-known television.
That's right. Yes,
car show.
I've not done many of them, unfortunately. I'd love to do a few more. I was going to do one a little while ago with Fraser managed to say, "Oh, well, there's a nice part in it for you. Come to do this." But I'm doing something and I couldn't do it, so that was a shame. That sort of went out the window. But no, I've done a few for Big Finish. Well, not a few. No, I did another one which was not sort of Doctor Who, but it was I can't what it was called. I've done about 3 Doctor Who, Grand Theft Cosmos. Oh, and I did another one. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. It wasn't it. I can't think of the name. Totally gone. It's like, it's lost, but I can't think of anything.
People can look it up on the internet. That's what it's there for. And
I know it's there.
They're all available via the Big Finish website.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if people are interested, they'll know where to find it. I mean, you were saying there that what your plans are for sort of conventions and shows. Hopefully next year, once all of this blows over. What is it though? Once we are able to get back to some kind of normality, are you looking forward to most? Is it what you were saying before about being able to go to the pub?
Oh yeah, I mean not only that. I mean that's I enjoy going to the boozer. But just to go out. I mean, at the moment, my wife and I, we have my eldest daughter and my grandson here because he is very vulnerable. He has some illnesses which need to be looked after, and they're here simply because his dad has gone down with COVID. They live just around the corner from me, about 3 or 4 minutes away. So we decided once we knew about Robert's not feeling too bright, and then had the test, and it turned out to be positive. So they've come to isolate with us. So I think I've got it till about Wednesday when my 10 days isolation is up. So I've not been anywhere. Normally I go out for a stroll with my mate who's in now Bubble, lives directly opposite me. We go for a walk around the river and chat, put the worlds to rights, and then we after about an hour or so we come back. But no, I try to keep busy. Normally I run every day. I do about a mile or so, maybe 2 miles running. But now I run in the garden, and I've got my watch and I time myself to see how far I've done. I usually do about a mile or so in the garden, not just running on the spot, really. Yeah. Just because, as I say, keep the old bones, from getting a bit brittle. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. But I tell you what, funny thing is, I thought that I did put it actually online. I don't know if you haven't read it or not, but I always thought that Dunkirk was William Shatner's autobiography, and I thought that I share that with you, which I thought when I saw it, I thought it was quite clever. Yeah, yeah, I thought. And there are lots of silly stories, and you know me, I'm always telling silly jokes.
Absolutely. And I imagine, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, that's the sort of thing that we'd find in your book. So if people want to find it, where do they want to be looking? Amazon?
It's called, just type in Colin Spaull on Amazon, and it's available on Amazon. It's called Colin Who. And simply, it's called Colin Who simply because not to do with it, not specifically to do because I've been in Doctor Who, but I couldn't think of a name, and I would also all sorts of silly names. And I recall many, I was about 16 or 17, and someone saying to me, "Oh, hello, what do you do for a living?" I said, "Well, I'm an actor." "Oh, yeah. And what's your name?" I said, "Colin Spaull." He went, "Colin who?" And I thought, and that incorporates Who as well. But it goes on about the theatre. It goes on about spent time up a mountain with probably the most famous British actor in Hollywood at the time, a guy called David Niven, and made movies with directed by Hitchcock and people like that. Yeah, so a varied life, but I loved it. I've loved every minute of it.
Certainly sounds like it, and that's certainly always the impression I've got when we've had a chance to sit and chat and raise a glass and what have you. So is that a physical book or an e-book?
Both.
Both, excellent. So
yeah, it's physical. It's $9.99, and it's been out since last August. Would have made more of it because because I would have been selling it at conventions. But of course, because of the COVID, it's been we've not been able to do it. But I will be selling them. I mean, it's not just because I haven't sold them now, but it is available. A lot of people have bought it, and there's quite a few reviews on Amazon. But yeah, Colin Who, I was. Are we not running out of time? Are we here?
We are wrapping up. Yes, mate.
Oh, okay. All right. I will shut up now.
Just to finish off.
Is
there anything else that you want to say to the kind people who have been watching us today and raising money for Mind?
Well, if you're raising money for this incredible cause, then great. Thank you so much. It's brilliant. It's people like you that helps these charities along. It's needed. So please donate. And I hope to see you at a convention sometime soon.
And I hope to see you at a convention sometime soon, Colin, as well. As ever, it is an absolute pleasure and a privilege. And you stay safe. And we'll see you in the real world sometime.
Indeed. The pleasure's all mine. Lots of love to everyone.
And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, matey.